Have you ever stared at a screen copying the same row of data for the 20th time and thought, a machine should be doing this? We spend hours trapped in digital busywork, staring at blank documents, wrestling with messy spreadsheets, and fighting through endless emails. But what if you could just clone yourself? Or better yet, what if you had a dedicated team of digital interns ready to take all those boring, repetitive chores off your plate? For a long time, the idea of a helpful digital assistant felt out of reach. When artificial intelligence first got its start in the 1940s, it was a highly complex mathematical puzzle. Back then, and for decades after, this technology lived entirely inside massive mainframes that took up entire rooms. It was operated by specialists, far away from everyday life. But technology shrank. Those giant room-sized calculators eventually evolved into the software that now lives right on the laptop sitting on your desk. AI has moved out of science fiction and into your workspace. It is finally an accessible tool, ready to handle your daily grind. Let's meet the first member of your new digital team, the rule follower. In the tech world, this is called robotic process automation. You can think of it as a set of extremely strict instructions. This intern does not think outside the box. It follows your exact recipe, step by step, without ever deviating. This diagram shows how it works. If you have a chore where you grab an email, copy an invoice number, and paste it into a specific row in a spreadsheet, this intern will do it perfectly, 1,000 times in a row. It lacks imagination, but that is exactly why it is the perfect assistant for those rigid, mind-numbing chores that drain your energy. Next up is your second intern, the trend spotter. This is known as machine learning. Unlike the rule follower, this intern doesn't need a strict step-by-step recipe. Instead, it learns and adapts based on the information you give it. This animation illustrates how it handles information. When you feed it a massive, messy pile of data, like thousands of customer reviews, it sifts through the chaos and starts to group similar things together, finding patterns a human would easily miss. It acts as your personal data interpreter, taking overwhelming amounts of raw information and turning it into clear, useful insights. Then we have the third intern, the creator. You've likely heard of this one recently. It is called Generative AI, and its specialty is producing entirely original text, images, and ideas from scratch. As we see in this interface, you guide this intern using a prompt. A prompt is just a simple instruction written in plain English. If you ask it to draft a polite email to a frustrated client or list 10 ideas for a weekend project, it instantly generates a full response. To giving you an immediate first draft, this intern eliminates the fear of the blank page and acts as a tireless brainstorming partner. Finally, we arrive at the most advanced member of your team, the manager. In the industry, this is called an AI agent. This diagram shows how an agent operates. Instead of waiting for you to tell it every single move, you just give it a final goal. The agent then maps out the steps and uses other software entirely on its own. For instance, reading a refund request, checking the database, processing the return, and writing the apology email, completing the entire workflow while you sleep. With an agent on staff, your digital team handles entire sequences of work on their own, handing you final outcomes instead of individual clicks. Hearing about software that can do all this on its own can trigger a very common fear, the anxiety that these tools are built to replace us. But the true value of building this digital team is the exact opposite. You delegate these chores to reclaim your most valuable asset, your time. When you buy back 5 or 10 hours a week from mindless data entry, you finally have the space to focus on the things a machine cannot do. You get to focus on high-level strategy, creative problem-solving, and building genuine human connections. You no longer have to operate as the manual laborer in your own life. You step up to direct a highly capable team. Think about your schedule right now. Identify just one boring, repetitive task that drains your energy and try handing it over to your new digital interns today. By letting software handle the robotic side of your to-do list, you're protecting your time and your focus. It's about clearing out the busy work so you can get back to the tasks that actually need a human touch.